500. Our race runner-up, Denny Hamlin. He drove the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Denny, certainly it's not the win that you didn't get the win, I'm sure, that you wanted, but you had a very solid speed weeks. But just talk about today's race. Certainly started earlier today and finished late at night, but just talk about the emotion and then just the performance of the number 11 car.
Well, I think that, I think our performance declined a little bit as speed weeks went on, by a little bit, and I think the competitions got a little bit better and worked on their cars. But I mean, it's a tough business. You're out there with twice the amount of cars is what you were earlier in the week. And then, our car, I thought, was okay. Given the right circumstances, it was a race winner, but, we were just stuck in the position we were in. Our radios got wet after the rain. And so, having to, I didn't perform as good as I could have because I was, trying to spot myself at the end of the race. And, it's hard to win a super speedway race when you don't know when runs are coming and when you got to time your passes and everything, especially when you're just trying to guard against causing a wreck, knowing that you got radio silence. And so it was tough and disappointing because, I definitely could have used my spotter there at the end for that green-white checkered to possibly time a run on the 88. But I'm at least happy we finished the race and didn't get in big trouble.
Questions for Denny? We'll take some right now. Raise your hand. We've got Mike Hembry had one.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Denny, did you lose complete radio communication with the spotter, with the pits and everything? And you didn't get any help there at the end. Could you have got by with a car or two behind you?
I don't know. Like I said, I was looking in my mirror trying to get a run on the 88, but at the radios were intermittent a lot. I'd say when we first came back from the rain, I didn't have the radio for about 50 laps or so. I thought that it dried out, and we had radio communication for about another 60, 70. And then starting around with all those cautions with about 12, 15 to go, pretty much went radio silence at that point. And I'm, in the middle of the pack trying not to cause a big one and trying to hold my line, but yet advance my position to get myself a chance at a victory. But it's too hard to do it on your own, honestly. And we were fortunate to finish where we were. And I definitely could have used them at the end. I'm trying to look up at the scoreboard, trying to figure out how many laps are left, and just not knowing anything that's going on. You start to appreciate what those guys do up there.
Thank you, Denny. And also joining us right now is our top finishing Sunoco Rookie of the Year candidate, and he was our Coors Light pole sitter for the 56th annual Daytona 500. Hamlin Dillon. Austin, solid run for you here today. Maybe just talk about your race.
Yeah, I think the yellow stripes on the bumper showed a little bit tonight, but we made it through it. That was fun. I had a blast. The Dow Chevrolet was fast. After we got in that wreck, and we, I don't know how it didn't hit the wall, but we got out of it, and it had a little damage. I was just a lot freer after that, and car was still fast, so just a little loose. But all in all, it's a great start for our season, and hopefully we can carry it.
Thank you, Austin. We'll take questions now again for Denny and Austin. Go over here to the left to Randy Kovitz.
Hi, Austin. Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. Are the stars kind of aligned? I mean, you had the number 3 on the track, and Dale Jr. wins the race. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, it's very awesome. Junior's been so supportive of me, bringing back the 3, and I've gone to him for a lot of advice lately, and I can't thank him enough. He's been awesome to me, and it made this whole transition a lot easier. if we didn't have him on board, it would definitely been tough to do this. So I want to thank him and congratulate him. That was an awesome race. He led a ton of the laps, and for me, it's he's been a little bit of a bigger brother right now. It's been pretty cool.
Other questions? Raise your hand. I think let's go to Dustin and then back to Bob. Dustin and then back to Bob.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Denny, how do you look at how Speed Weeks wraps up, and what does it matter going into essentially the rest of the season? How does it carry, or do you just leave this behind when you take off?
I'm so 50-50 on whether I'm pissed off or I'm happy. I just don't know. It's any other year I probably would have been like, jumping up and down. We can hardly finish these races, much less have a shot at a victory. But, we, like I said earlier, I felt like our car wasn't as strong as the week progressed. The competition definitely caught up for sure. And then, honestly, me not being able to drive to my ability because I was being conservative, trying to spot for myself. That's not a way to race, and it's just track position was so important. I just couldn't come in for a radio change when it went totally dead. So we I'll be happy tomorrow, I think, but right now a little disappointed. Well, it puts us in a good spot. Obviously you're going to need to win to be in the chase, or you can, if you keep doing this. Unless there's 16 race winners, which it's been a long time since that, I don't mind keeping myself up top and in a safe position. It's definitely a good way to start the year, especially how we've run these last 4 races or so. It's been pretty solid.
Back in the back, Bob Hockris, and then we'll go to the press box.
Bob Hockris, Sporting News. Austin, did you have contact with both Larson and Newman on those accidents, and what happened?
Yeah, I had contact with both of them. The 31, I had a run and everything was good, and I don't know, I haven't seen a replay of either one of them really. His rear bumper cover was off, and I barely touched him, and it turned him to the left really quick. So definitely didn't want to do that. It's my teammate. I think he touched the one and it backed him up, and then it happened quick. Like I said, I was getting aggressive there. I think there was like 10 to go, and just trying to make something happen. It was hard once you got back there to get back up front if you weren't making moves to side draft and pull people down. And I definitely learned a lot, and hopefully I can take this and go to Talladega or the next super speedway and try and do a little better.
Who else had a question over here to the right? Jerry?
Jerry Bunkowski, NBCSports.com. Denny, I know you're disappointed, but as one fellow driver to another driver, what are your thoughts about Junior winning?
It's big. I mean, it's big for a lot of reasons. He's obviously going into the last year with his current crew chief, and so they're going to start making chase plans now early. So it's going to be good for their race team. They're very flexible right now as far as going forward and what they can do and try. But as far as the race win, obviously it's very significant that any Earnhardt wins at Daytona, and so we were looking. I knew it was going to be tough for anyone to pass them. It's just the way this, it is kind of tough to pass a little bit once you get kind of bottled up. As long as you're the leader and you got 2 wide behind you, you can just kind of play both lanes, which is what those guys did to perfection the entire fuel run. It's what we did to win the 2 races we won. So it's, for whatever reason, blocking has become easier, it seems like, and guys are getting better at it. And those guys, of course, you're going to have a tough time getting around to Earnhardt in a green-white checker at Daytona anyway. So, it's obviously a significant day for their family and great for the race team.
Let's go to the press box. Questions for Denny or Austin? Go ahead.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports for Denny. A couple of questions. Was the problems with the radios across the board with the Joe Gibbs Racing cars because Matt's button kept sticking as well? And also, how much did the number 11 Toyota change through the course of the period where you guys were waiting to get back to racing?
I didn't know his button was sticking too, and from what the little bit I heard from my guys is that they said that my mic was keyed solid, so that obviously they couldn't communicate to me. If he says that's what was happening to him, I don't know. It's a heck of a coincidence, but who knows? It's hard to believe. Rain caused it or something like that, but obviously it's tough. We didn't have any indication when everything was fine when we cranked up and pulled out on pit road, but it took to the first caution after we came back that we started having serious radio issues. So that part was tough, and Matt will attest it's nearly impossible to try to do this yourself. But our cars just, I don't know, we just weren't as good. All race. Our car was handling pretty good, so it was a little tight here and there, but nothing, no game changers, I felt like, from day to night.
Other questions in the press box? No questions?
No questions.
Okay, let's go over here to Stan, and we'll wind it up right here.
Thank you. Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Austin, does this 10th place finish take some of the pressure off you as a rookie, or do you have just as much pressure facing you coming up at Phoenix and then Las Vegas?
I think we finished 8th.
7th.
Oh, we finished 9th. Okay, close. But I don't think so, man. It's such a long year. We gotta keep the pressure on as far as our team, and we want to do well. We got a lot of goals we need to accomplish. Super speedway racing is so much different than the mile and a half and the short track. So we have a lot to learn, and that's what this year's about: experience and trying to finish races and get better each and every week. So we've got a long year ahead of us, and I'd like to hopefully use some of this momentum going forward. But I know it's going to be a long, tough year, and we'll be there hopefully to the end of each of these races and try and learn something.